Hey guys, what is going on today? BOJoeKO here, back again for our week 2 results of our NHL YouTubers slash streamers fantasy hockey league here on ESPN.com. So coming into week number 2, I currently sit at 1-0 and am at the top of the 1 division. So going into this week, I would be taking on Brent, aka xTech NHL. So if you guys want to go follow Brent's channel or any other channel or Twitch stream in this league, make sure to go check out the description. Everybody's link will be listed there. So let's take a look at the transactions that have happened this past week. There's a lot of transactions actually have happened this week. A lot of trades too. Let's see. Yeah, it was just a scoring thing. So everything just on the 15th actually happened this past week. So a lot of trades, a lot of players being dropped off. Do not look at the standings as they are spoilers incoming. But as you guys can see, Duke, a lot of trades happened this week. So Duke traded Mika Zibanejad to Sykes, be synced for Nazem Kadri. Spence dropped Gallagher in favor of Thomas Hertl. Duke, okay, so that one was approved. And then Sync dropped Chris Russell for Brendan Gallagher. Slime added Brandon Sutter. Spence dropped Jack Johnson in favor of Marek Zaglicki. A big trade that happened just the other day between Clappy and xTech. Clappy traded Bukestad, Larkin, and Carey Price to xTech in favor for David Backes, Corey Perry, and Sergei Bobrovsky, which was a very interesting trade. Then Brent dropped Soderberg and added Mathieu Perreault. And then Spence traded Verbata to Clappy for Thomas Tatar, and then just recently added Michael Frolik. So a couple of this stuff did happen during this week, since today is the 21st, so a couple things have changed since then. But let's go into the team reviews of the scoreboards here, just to show you guys how everything panned out in the week 2 matchups here. And I'll show you guys the results of these scores if it wants to update. Hold on, let's hit refresh. Didn't update me at first. There we go. Okay. A little bit of a lag issue right there, but there we go. There are the results from our week 2 matchups. So I went up against Brent and I pretty much beat him 146 to 117.3. So beat him by almost 30 points this week. So that was a pretty good win for me to improve to 2-0. We'll go into the details of that in a minute. Other news, Millertime Gaming beat B-Synced one by about 20 points. Richard Head beat Slime Man by 0.5 points, so second week in a row. Austin almost tied again. That was pretty freaking funny that Richard Head was 0.5 points away from tying for the second week in a row. That would have been hilarious. Clappy beat Sykes by 10 points. Deke beat Duke by about 30 points. And then Best NHL Clips beat Spence by around 10. So it was a pretty close matchups all around, except for my matchup versus, well, I guess between me and xTech, Miller and Synced, and then Deke and Duke. So other than that, pretty close matchups all around. So let's go take a look at the full box score here from our week 2 matchup against xTech. And we'll go into detail about who our team's matchups were going into this week. So, as you guys can see, my lineups here, pretty much the exact same as last time. Patrick Kane, Zetterberg, Hossa, Scheifele, Raffle, Stafford, Carlson, Barry, Streit, Suter, and Yager with Schneider and Crawford in the net. And then on the bench, I have Kopitar, Nyquist, Neal, Laterra, and Adam Larson. Going up against xTech's team, which consists of Corey Perry, Ryan Johansson, Nikita Kucherov, Scott Hartnell, Joe Thornton, Jason Palmaville, Hampus Lindholm, Andre Sekera, Tyler Myers, Jonas Brodin, and Derek Brassard, with Sergei Bobrovsky and Semyon Varlamov in the net. And on his bench, he has TJ Oshie, David Backes, Thomas Vanek, Mikko Koivu, and Carl Soderberg, with TJ Brody on his injured reserve bench. So we can take a look at the point totals for this first week, and once again, I put myself in a little bit of a hole on the very first day for week number 2, as Brent takes a 11 to 7.3 lead for me. So Scheifele got me a goal, a couple shots on goal hits. Raffle in that 1-0 win over the Florida Panthers, he had 6 shots on goal with 3 hits, so he got me a couple points there. Stafford didn't get me much. Streit didn't get me much. Yager didn't get me much. Neither of my goalies started. So I didn't have many players playing that night, and they really didn't get me that many points. Brent, on the other hand, he had 4 points from Ryan Johansson and 3.5 from Scott Hartnell. So even though the Blue Jackets lost to Buffalo, he still got a nice little amount of points from them. Plus, he got a point from Sergei Bobrovsky for starting. Other than that, Perry 0.8, Kucherov 0.5, Myers 0.3. So Brent did have a very good opportunity to take a little bit of a big lead on me in the first week, but I kept it kind of close, which was very nice to see. Okay, so if we move to the 13th, which was the next day, pretty even all around scores here. So this was the very first game that I made a little bit of a roster change. I dropped Adam Larson off on waivers, and I picked up Ben Hutton for this game. And this would be the only game that I had Ben Hutton playing at. And fortunately, he did not get me many points in this game that he started, 0.3, so he would not stay on the team very long. I opted to let Anze Kopitar sit on the bench this game just because he was not doing very much for me at all. It was either between if I played Anze Kopitar or Jori Lehtera, and I'm glad I went with Lehtera because Zetterberg and Nyquist went off on the Tampa Bay Lightning, 6.3 and 4.3 points for me for each of those guys. Neil didn't do much for me that night. That was kind of one of Neil's only not consistent nights. Scheifele didn't get much from him either, only 0.5, but Lehtera and Stafford did a pretty good job. Lehtera with 3.3, Stafford with 3.5, Ben Hutton, like I said, 0.3, and then Jaromir Jagr with 2.5 with an assist. Schneider did not play that game against the Predators. That was Kincaid starting as he was still on leave. And other than that, that's what the team looked like. And honestly, Kopitar got me 0.8 on the bench, but that doesn't count since I didn't play him. As for Brent's, Kucherov continued to not produce for him. I think he was going to drop him eventually. Oshie got him 1.8. Backus 2.5. Joe Thornton with 4.8. So Big Jumbo Joe, a late pick round there for Brent, seems to be really paying off for him. Brassard got him 2.3. Sekera got him 2.3, surprisingly. Myers got him 4, which is a good night. None of his goalies started, and he had nobody on the bench either playing. So, once again, not many players playing for each of us this game. Actually, it was a pretty equal amount, and we kind of tied on an equal amount of score there. So, kind of keep it even. I think Brent might... Actually, you know what? We might have been tied coming into this game. Or either that or I would have been down by 0.3. What is that? So, that'd be 28.6... 29.3. Okay, so I wasn't down by much. I was down by maybe like 2 or 3 points going into the next day. And this is where I really started to pull away with it. Another roster move I did coming into this next game was I dropped off Ben Hutton and decided to add not another defenseman to the bench, but I went and added Martin Hansel for this game. And that was a very good decision on my part. Kane and Hossa did not get me points this game because they got shut out by the Flyers surprisingly that night, 3-0. So they didn't get me many points. Raffle got me an assist, so I appreciate that. 3.3 for him. Marty Hansel, 3 assists game, one of them being a power play assist from Martin Hansel. No shots on goal, 7 points. That's when Domi and Duclair were really going off on the for the Arizona Coyotes, and they beat the Anaheim Ducks 4-0, which was a really nice night for me. So 3 assists from him. Erik Karlsson with 4 assists against the Columbus Blue Jackets. 10 points total from Erik Karlsson alone. I think Erik Karlsson's league leading, or maybe tied for the league currently for assists. So really nice night there for them. Tyson Barrie against Boston. This would be, was that the night that he got suspended? Or I think it was the next game that he got suspended. No, he got played all of this week, maybe except for one final game. But Tyson Barrie, 2.3, got me an assist. Straight didn't do much for me there. And then Crawford got me the 1 point for the start. And then Brent, on the other hand, had not a very good night at all. He didn't start many players, but the only person putting in work for him was Ryan Johansson with 2 assists for 6.8 points. Perry, 0.3. Hartnell, 0.8. Soderberg played and didn't get anything for him. Hampus Lindholm, 0.5. Bobrovsky and Varlamov both started for him, but he couldn't get the win for either of those guys. And he got 2 points from his tendy there. So I took a nice little lead, 25.8 to 10.3 on him, which was a nice start for me. The following day, this is the game where I lost a lot of games, but I still got points. Kane and Hossa didn't get anything again. James Neal got his usual around 5 to 6 points from me there because he likes to take a lot of shots on net and likes to throw the body. Lehtera again, putting in that work. Mr. Consistent right there, Jori Lehtera, 4.8. Martin Hansel again, I still kept him on the team there, 2.8 points again. Appreciate that. Carlson, after the 10-point night in fantasy, I guess he shot his load the previous night, only 0.3. Suter got me 3.8 with a power play assist, which I appreciate. And then Jaromir Jagr, 2 goals and an assist, one being a power play goal, one being a power play assist. 8.8 points from Mr. Jagr there, so thank you very much. 27.3 points total from me there. And then Brent kept it close yet again. Brent had a very good chance to catch up here. None of his goalies started, but he had almost every roster player start this game. I don't know if he made any changes or not. Roster-wise, did he make any changes? He might have picked up Ryan Ellis. He might have picked up Brian Ellis for this thing, and then I know he went day-to-day, and I think he dropped him. I think he picked up Jonas Brodin as well. Not entirely sure, but I think he made a couple roster changes. I still kept the same team going. But Kucherov, once again, didn't get any points. Oshie, 5.8. Brassard, 0.3. Palmville with 6.3. This is that. Yeah, as you guys can see, Brent has a lot of Minnesota Wild players. He has Palmville, Vanek, Koivu, and Brodin. So he's really counting on the Minnesota Wild doing pretty well, and this game definitely paid off for them. 6.3 for Palmville, 2.5 for Vanek, 4.3 for Koivu. Brodin didn't do much for them, but still. Ellis, 1 point. Backus, 2.3. So he kept it close that game when he had a pretty decent chance to pull away, but still my players did some work there in order to keep it very close. And then we move on to the 16th here. ESPN wants to load up. Thank you. Let's see. Nothing really too spectacular here. Pretty average games from a lot of people. Zetterberg. Kopitar actually for the first time got the game-winning goal in overtime. So this was the first time Kopitar actually got me more than 1 point in the game. So that was nice. Schneider got me an extra point there for an overtime loss. What else? Nyquist. Yeah, Scheifele. Laterra, Mr. Consistent again with 3.3. Stafford and Barry didn't do much. Suter, 3.5 on another power play assist. And then Brent had, once again, another opportunity to pull away, but he just couldn't do it. Look at the totals from all his players this night. That was brutal. Hartnell got him 5.5 and Johansson 4.3, and Perry got him 1.3. But other than that, Thornton, Palmville, Vanek, Lindholm, Myers, Brodin, and Backus all dropped the ball there. He had a really good chance to take the lead once again. But none of those guys got him over a point, so I kind of feel bad for Brent at that point. Nobody on his fantasy team really was running away with totals here. And then once again, what do I have here? Hossa got 6.5 this night. Kane had 3. Zetterberg got 2. James Neal had 8 again, so he got his usual high-value points there because he takes a lot of shots on net, a lot of hits. Hansel only got 1 point that night, so it was kind of off night for him. That's when they lost to Boston. Carlson, 2.8. Jagr, 2.5. Corey Crawford got me the win that night for the Blackhawks, so that was an extra 3 points coming my way. Let's see. Bobrovsky didn't get that start. Oshie, Hartnell, and Thornton got him all around like 5 points apiece there, so that was a pretty good night for him, but still, I took a well-deserving lead again, and then on the final night of the 18th, this was the only night that Brent had beaten me, and honestly, I had a really big lead going into this night anyway, so Brent needed to have like a miracle happen. He had all of his players starting again, so maybe, but I think my lead was just way too big at this point. And I still had 4 point nights from Scheifele and Stafford as well, plus a 4 point night from Corey Schneider getting the win over the Rangers in that overtime game. Or was that an overtime game or was it just a late goal? I forget. But yeah, it was going to be really tough for Brent to come back from this, and I still had a pretty good night overall. And there's his totals right there. Lindholm and Koivu. Once again, his Minnesota Wild players kind of did pretty well for him. And his St. Louis players, Brassard, Perry, kind of got it going again. But that's how it ends up. So I end up beating Brent 146 to 117 to improve to 2-0 in the standings. I'll show you guys the standings right now as they are. Right now in the Hut division, you have Best NHL Clips and Clappy at 2-0. Miller's in third with 1-0-1. And then Slime is 1-1. Synced and Duke are 0-2. And then in the EASHL division, which is my division is actually kind of weak. So I'm glad I'm in this division. So I'm in first with 2-0. Richard Head's right behind me at 1-0-1. Spence and Deke are both 1-1. And then Sykes and Brent are unfortunately 0-2. So going into this week 3 matchup right now, I am matched up against Miller Time Gaming. Slime and B Synced are facing each other. Clappy and Richard Head. Sykes and Deke. Spence and Duke. And Best NHL Clips and Brent. And so currently right now I'm leading Miller Time Games by a score of 19-16. But I have a feeling if there's going to be any week that I lose so far, it's going to be this week. Just because Miller has a lot of players playing this week while I do not have that many players scheduled for this week. So I might have to make some changes on the waiver wire, maybe drop some players off, pick some guys up. Kopitar is very, very close, guys. Kopitar is very, very close to being traded on my team because he's just not pulling his weight. So there's our week 2 matchups there against xTech, and we are currently matched up against Miller Time Gaming, hoping to move to 3-0 in the fantasy league. So thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe as always. I'll bring you guys another update after week 3 is finished, and we shall see how we do after that. So thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like, comment, subscribe as always, and I'll see you guys next time.